Yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Hey, how's it going? We are live. We are enjoying outside. It's much colder today, so I'm not going to be bugged by bugs, hopefully. But hey, how's it going? So first of all, before I get things started off with what I'm going to discuss today, which is going to be the Pixel 5 and how it's been all this time that I've had it, which, it's kind of funny because it seems like I've had it for a lot longer than what I actually had it for. I mean, I only had it for like 4 months. 4 months with the Pixel 5. So I'm just going to give you guys just my in-depth opinions on it. And try to like steer clear of the usual review type stuff and really kind of dive in. And so while I am going to be discussing the Pixel 5, questions that people may have that would, you would ask someone who owns the phone and uses the phone, feel free to ask them, as I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. So again, big shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for joining and being a channel member. Really appreciate that. And again, hopefully you guys checked out the new tier options and what you guys get with the different tiers. That way you guys know what you're getting, right, for what you're paying for. I mean, obviously you're paying for it, so you should get something out of it, right? And so I restructured everything with the membership tier. So please check out what was changed with yours, and so you guys know what you'll be getting. All the stuff that I put into the tiers goes into effect March 1st. So then from then going forward, it's going to follow strictly by it. Also, because some of the things that I do here on the channel pretty much go against at times what would be considered advertiser friendly. If you guys want to show your support for the channel and do a one-time monetary donation, I would really appreciate that. You guys can do it here, the PayPal. Eventually I'll put the Cash App up also as well. Like I said, all proceeds of what I make from anything from AdSense to any of these donations that's put in actually goes to my kids. So they enjoy this. So they're rooting for me to kind of push because obviously, they play a lot of Fortnite and stuff like that, but ultimately they want to go and buy toys and things like that. So that's where it goes to. It goes to my kids. I've always been pretty transparent with where the money goes. So that's if you guys want to, yes, can. But if you guys just really want to show your support, smashing that like button is the biggest support you guys can show to the channel itself. Also, subscribing if you're not subscribed. I would definitely recommend subscribing and catching more shows like this and other things that I do here on the channel. And turn on bell notifications too as well. All you gotta do is just click the bell icon on my page here on YouTube, and when you turn on the bell notification, literally just select all and you're good. If you're on the Twitter side, just follow me on Twitter at the Nerdiest Pod, and you'll never miss a live on there. And if you are on the Facebook page, thank you so much for joining me on the Facebook page. Really appreciate that. So anyways, before, I really kind of dive into it, as you're coming in, feel free to say hi. Last night I did a live and I didn't expect it to do that good. So, I was kind of surprised to see what the view counts was last night, talking about Jeepers Creepers, the reboot, which is the movie known as Jeepers Creepers Reborn. So this Sunday, I intend to do a live stream. Now, I will let you guys know Sunday morning if I'm going to do that live stream Sunday night, talking more about Jeepers Creepers, the franchise, talking about Reborn. And I'm hoping to have a guest host, Technoid. If you guys aren't subscribed to him, please do so. Subscribe to Technoid. I'm gonna have him on there because last night, and I felt bad too because he wanted to join, and like yesterday was like probably like the worst day I felt. It's no secret. I put it out there. I'm waiting for my second results to come in. I keep checking on the site to see if my results have come in for the test, the viral test. And nothing yet. My first one said negative. That was about a week and a few days ago. But I don't know. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to end up hitting up Technoid on Twitter just to kind of work this out, see if we can get this going and just kind of talk about Jeepers Creepers. So be expected that on Sunday. Maybe we'll throw more movies into the mix on Sunday and just do like an all-out banger. You know what I mean? Talk about Mortal Kombat and the reboot with that, and Cole Young, the new protagonist in the Mortal Kombat movie, who joins Earthrealm Warriors to fight Shao Kahn's minions, basically Shang Tsung and Goro and all them. We'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about Godzilla versus Kong a little bit more. But yeah, that would be for Sunday. This morning is just basically a tech video. Just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about the Google Pixel 5, how it's been for me. Shout out to John. It looks like, I guess he shared it. I don't know, or he shared something with me on Facebook. Hold on, but anyway, but still shout out to him. John, I got your notifications, bro. But yeah, the Google Pixel 5. Okay, so the phone that everyone thought was going to phenomenally flop, right? Because it didn't have a Snapdragon 800 series processor. Everyone was just like, oh, this thing is going to be like terrible, terrible, terrible. Turned out quite like not so much. By the way, not sponsored, but if you guys see me eating poke, don't mind me. That's my breakfast. A very unorthodox breakfast, by the way. And if you don't know what poke is, you can Google it. But just a rundown of it. It's basically raw tuna. It's diced up raw tuna and marinade. It's really good. Eat it all the time. It's like probably like one of the most cliche known snacks in Hawaii. I'll say that. Just letting you guys know, because I don't know how long this live stream is going to go for. But right, so I have my Google Pixel 5 right here. It is my main daily driver, right? This is my main device that I use. Right now for the hotspot to do this live stream, my Pixel 4 has the AT&T line in it. I don't have it inside the iPhone XS. Some issues going on with that. John, good morning, man. I just seen notifications on Facebook from you. Well, good morning. But anyways, yeah. So like, it's no secret that people know I'm a fan of the Google Pixel phones. I did talk about, I think it's like two or a couple of live streams ago, I talked about that not impossible, but it is in fact happening, a foldable Pixel phone, but how I don't have much faith in Google and executing that properly. So yeah, well, it's like a love-hate thing with Google and its Pixels. John says my mother loves her brand new Pixel 4a. Awesome. The Pixel 4a is no slouch, and I'm actually going to do a video on that in place of, originally I was going to do not a video but like a live stream basically discussing the Pixel 3a and how it's aged. But that kind of like, I negated that when I decided to opt to buy the Pixel book. And so yeah, no Pixel 3a in the works. So I just figured I would just completely just revamp that and just do like another follow-up video to the Pixel 4a. I do have that. It is a phenomenal phone. The Pixel 4a, don't get me wrong, it's a phenomenal phone. The Pixel 5 is right up in there with that. I mean, to me, I guess the good thing about it is, and I don't know, maybe this might be a negative towards some people, but the Pixel 5 just seems like a very beefed up Pixel 4a. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it, since I use both phones. I pretty much know everything, just regarding it. Oh God, the Pixel Book, ha ha ha! Why? What's wrong with the Pixel Book? I mean, I think the Pixel Book Go is awesome. It's an awesome Chromebook. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of good things about it, and I'm making notes about it so I can talk about it in a live stream review of the Pixel Book Go. As a matter of fact, just off subject here real quick. Like last night, I was modding the Pixel Book anyways, so pretty much turning on Linux beta, and then I was able to install a couple of Linux apps, including Steam, and so and then in the next go around, when I buy another game, I'm actually going to buy Streets of Rage 4, but on Steam, and then actually live stream gameplay here, like on YouTube and Twitch. I think is the plan. I just have to work all that out, how I'm going to be able to live stream the gameplay or everything like that. I'm not rich, so I don't have a lot of equipment. That's something that people got to understand. I'm not a wealthy person. I'm not making buku dollars here doing these YouTube live streams or anything like that. So don't let that be something in your head you think. I don't have a massive rig of things to do these live streams. Really, all I have is, a Chromebook or Pixel Book that I'm using, a mobile phone for hotspot, $30 headphones, like $40 microphone. That's it. That's all I really have. I don't have a capture card. I don't have, $100 audio equipment or any of that type of stuff. I don't have money to buy, expensive software. So I make do with what I have. And I try to find workarounds, something that kind of brings that aspect to it. Like, like gameplay on Stadia obviously is going to be easier for me because, it's in tandem with YouTube when it comes to these live streams and stuff like that. I'm able to do that. But from Steam, it's going to be a little bit different. Like, I tried a test trial run with using StreamYard and trying to, use like screen share or whatever. But the problem with StreamYard is that it'll allow audio to be played if you are, screen sharing from a Chrome tab. But if you're like using an external app source, there's no audio. And so like that would be like the most ridiculous thing to me, doing gameplay with no sound to the game itself, except for me narrating over it. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Work with what you have. There's people making amazing videos with their iPhones, and people think they were shot on this. Yeah. I mean, you can really fudge the way that things look. If you have the determination and passion, you can really make it look like outstanding quality. I mean, there's like past videos that I've done, and people have literally said that the video quality was amazing, it was great, it was good. You know what I mean? And then in the same breath, they would trash the video capabilities of the Pixel until I dropped the bomb on them that the video was shot with the Pixel 3. And then it was like, whoa, okay. You can really do a lot with what you have. You don't have to have a lot of the expensive things. It's nice to have them, though. It makes things a lot more easier, especially if you know what you're doing. But yeah, for me, I don't. But anyways, so yeah, I modded my Pixelbook Go. I got Steam on there so I can play Streets of Rage 4 and try to figure a way to live stream that gameplay to like YouTube and Twitch and Twitter, whatever. I'll figure it out. I'll figure something out. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but yeah, I mean, my Pixelbook is solid. It's solid. That's all I gotta say. It's solid for what it is and what I'm able to do with it. So that's great. And then of course, letting people know, sideloading applications to the Pixelbook Go does not require you to be in developer mode anymore. You can actually do it from standard mode. So you don't have to go through all that hogwash of booting into recovery on the Pixelbook Go and then flipping it over to developer mode just to sideload an APK. You can literally do that just by turning on the Linux beta on Chrome OS, turning that on so that way Linux is there, basically doing all of the ADB developer, like ADB debugging and all that stuff, setting those things up, and then using the Linux terminal and just command code installing all these apps. You can actually do that now. Just quick heads up. But anyways, back to the Pixel 5. So the Pixel 5 has just been pretty solid. Like I said, to me, it's just like a more beefed up version of the Pixel 4a. I have both phones. I use them. I run them. They are my daily drivers. They are in my pocket wherever I go. Every now and then, I kind of switch off and put the visible line in the iPhone XS and then use the iPhone when I want to use something on iOS and just whatever. So it's kind of a back and forth thing between the Pixel 4a and the iPhone XS. But the Pixel 5 always stays in my pocket. It's always in my pocket. It's always in my hand. It's always with me. It's my go-to. It's what I grab first. Besides me being a fanboy of Google Pixels, the absolute real reason why that, the Pixel 5 is always in my hands and why I gravitate towards more to the Google Pixels is just for the stock Android experience. I guess I'm simplistic to that extent. Like, I like customization, but I'm simplistic where I don't like I don't know. Let me put it in an analogy form. I like cake, basic, vanilla, basic chocolate, basic confetti cake. You know what I mean? Light icing on the top, where the cake tastes delicious, but it's not overly sweet. That's the analogy that I would use. Is I like Android, but I don't like a whole lot of extra stuff on top of Android. You know what I mean? So, a very thick, laid on user interface is just not my thing. It may be for other people, it may be, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that other people are wrong for liking that. If you like, if you like One UI, aka TouchWiz, then that's you. If you like Oxygen OS, that's fine. If you whatever you like, you know what I mean? I'm not here to tell people what they have to like. I'm just here to tell you guys what my experience is. And for me, what I like out of Android most is when it's just the base form of Android, what it is. And you'll always find that on Google Pixels for number one. Okay. Number two is basically, the support that it gets. 3 years of support, two major OS updates before they cut them off. And you know what? After having some time to really elaborate on that aspect, because people will then kind of throw it out there, like, well, iPhones have 5 years of support. Why can't Google do that with the Google Pixel phones? And I'm like, okay, that makes sense, right? You can't please everybody in the tech industry. There are some people that just don't have money to burn. And so when they finally get a Google Pixel phone, they're like, okay, it's going to be supported for 3 years. Why can't they go 5 years? Because I'm not going to have the money to buy another Pixel phone until probably 5 years from now. And I totally get that. But then there are those people who are like, I can upgrade every year. And I totally get that. The thing is, 3 years seems to be, in my opinion, seems to be the sweet spot when it comes to software updates, is because you're still dealing with the factor of outdated components. And I'm talking about hardware. I'm talking about processing chips. I'm talking about GPUs. I'm talking about all those things. And when they're outdated, there's no way to update them. It's not like, I mean, if Project Ara had actually taken off the ground, then yeah, we would be singing a totally different tune. If you guys don't know what Project Ara is, Google it. You'll know what it is. But it's basically the idea from Google to make a modular phone. But we don't have that. That project went dead, and the LG G5 took a tank trying to be a modular phone. Motorola kind of doing the Moto Mods thing, but that was about it. It was just extended add-ons to the back of the phone, and that was that. That was basically modular phones, and then that whole inception died. So we catch up with this. Don says, yeah, that's why I stay away from Samsung phones. Heavily customized skins. Yeah, they are. Some people like them. Some people prefer them. Some people prefer the ability to, change out the theme of the entire UI just so that way they can, feel festive with the holidays. I mean, I've had Samsung before. I've seen what Samsung can do. I've, put skins. I remember I had the Samsung Galaxy J. Gosh, I don't remember what it was. That was the J6 2016 or something like that. Well, one of them was for Boost Mobile. But anyways, I was able to port over the Batman theme that was specifically for that year's Galaxy S that came out. And it looked pretty cool. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a huge fan of going after heavily skinned Android. I just feel like it really, like at first you're going to get the zippity fast, responsiveness from the user interface. But eventually it's going to be bogged down by like how demanding the UI is on the processor. And that's where the problem becomes. That's where it really kind of, gets down to that point. Don't phones start breaking down after about 2 to 3 years away? Just about. I mean, when you think about it, in the timeline and the life expectancy of a smartphone, in about 2 to 3 years, you've already pretty much, already started to deplete the battery. That's the first thing that's going to be really, really noticeable is battery. And we can't help it. We're creatures of habit. We can have some nerd actually tell people how they should be charging their smartphone, but it doesn't mean that everyone's going to do it specifically like that every single time. We are creatures of habit. And sometimes, we just do what we do. Sometimes we're like, okay, I know I shouldn't be on Fortnite with the charger plugged into my phone because, it's going to overwork the battery as the battery is trying to power the game and keep the phone on while it's drawing power from an electrical source. And, yeah, you can really damage your battery doing that. But you know what? I got to play Fortnite. And so, people are creatures of habit. We can't help that fact. These lithium-ion batteries are way smart than what they used to be back then when cell phones was just starting to become a thing. These lithium-ion batteries remember your patterns. They remember your patterns of charge. They remember your patterns of disconnects. You know what I mean? So like if you're always charging your phone, at like say you always charge it at 40%, you know what I mean? Your phone learns that at 40% is when it considers your phone dying. And so, yeah. But, if you're always letting the battery completely drain out and die out at 0%, and then you're always charging it back up to 100%, you are going through a full charge cycle. And by going through a full charge cycle, you're actually depleting the battery, and the battery will eventually go down, That's why, like, when you look at iPhones, right? When you first buy an iPhone and you check the battery health, it tells you the battery health is 100%. You go 1 year with your normal everyday habits with that iPhone, and when you look back at it, it's going to be like down to like 90%, or maybe even at 89% at the battery health. And that's just because the battery degrades over time. That's something that's inevitable. You cannot stop that from happening. Um, so yeah, 2 to 3 years to me seems on the average point. Most people wouldn't be able to afford these flagship phones if it wasn't for financing. You can't finance phones in Europe and Asia. Yes, that's true. That's true. Uh, try explaining power cycling to an average consumer. Yeah. Um, you know what I mean? Like, cause like I'll tell people right now, if you want a good schematics of how the battery in a phone works, I mean, if you have a You Break I Fix store in your city, definitely go there. I mean, the one here in Phoenix has one, and it kind of like explains the battery. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they do a lot of battery replacements at You Break I Fix. They probably do battery swaps on Pixels because they're actually certified to handle Pixel phones, but then they also service iPhones and other phones like that or whatever. And I'm pretty sure they explain to the customer who comes in when they're swapping the battery, and they're trying to explain to them why the battery degrades, what's happening, what causes all that. It's there. You can even just Google it and read up on lithium-ion batteries and what happens with that, how they degrade, what the best ways to extend the life expectancy of a lithium-ion battery. And you can Google that. But yeah, 2 to 3 years is just pretty much where it's at. Battery is one. Camera sensors is another one. The camera sensors start to go through some hiccups. I mean, the Pixel 2 XL has been in the news quite a bit over the last month, and the main reason why is because 2XL users are reporting that camera failure is actually happening. I have not booted on my Pixel 2 XL. I have not experienced any really heavy issues with the Pixel 2 XL's camera. I do experience one thing that kind of tells me that the camera sensor on that is on the fritz, and that is autofocusing in video mode. Autofocusing brings this real jelly effect to the focal point, whatever subject you're shooting. It brings this weird jello effect, and you can really see it in the video. And so that actually tells me that, you know what, my 2XL is not immune to this thing that's going on. But this has to do with the camera sensors, and obviously those are the same camera sensors that's even still used into the Pixel 5 today. Is the Sony IMX363. So that camera sensor over time is going to have some issues. So yeah, the camera sensor is going to tend to go. Fluidity is kind of an iffy with Google Pixels. I see that with each iteration of the Google Pixels, it gets better. But for most Android phones, it is not actually like that. The more updates it receives, it soon starts to feel bogged down and a lot slower. It's not a placebo thing. It's something that actually happens from every time to time. So the 2 to 3 year software update for Google Pixels to me is just fine. I know people would like it to be extended longer. You would like your Pixel 2 to, get a Android 14 or Android 13. But think about this. You're having a device with outdated hardware components, and you're wanting it to run and push features that's brought into an operating system that's been developed for present time and a little bit of the future. You know what I mean? It's kind of bad. It's like literally asking to put, high octane gas, like not 91 octane, but like asking to put in like 108 octane, into a 1944 Pinto, right? And thinking that it's going to barrel down the track against a Charger. It's just not happening. You can put a 108 octane inside that car and you'll probably blow the doors off of it and probably blow the motor at the same time. But my point is that that's the analogy I'll give for an older device receiving, the latest software. And trust me, before people fly off the handle about it, I was one of the people that used to sit there and be like, why can't they just update my 4-year-old Android phone to the latest Android? Like I used to be in that crowd that used to complain about it and be like, hey, what the heck, Coffee, what's going on? Good morning or good evening where you are. Good morning here. But I mean, Yeah, that's, but now, I guess, when you get older, you get wiser. And so I really kind of understood that fact is like, hey, yeah, that, you have an outdated hardware. It's probably not going to be able to support, a good 40% of what the new operating system has to offer. And what's the point of getting the latest version of Android if your old hardware cannot support some of the new features that the new OS brings to the table, right? I mean, if you got an outdated, like let's say you had a Samsung Intercept, right? That's a pretty old Android phone. Just imagine it trying to run Android 11 today, and then on top of that, let's say bring in augmented reality features. You know what I mean? Using the Google camera, and then trying to go use one of the Android stickers, the animated stickers in Google Camera. That's AR mode. You imagine the Samsung Intercept will just probably just reboot every time that you try to do that. It's just going to reboot. It doesn't have the hardware to support it. That's what people need to understand. And I know most people do. Trust me, I'm not talking down on anybody. I know that a lot of consumers today have learned a lot about mobile technology. That's why there's really no reason for me to even be here trying to teach mobile technology. Everybody pretty much knows it already. Yeah. But I'm here to offer my perspective. That's where everything changes. Perspective is totally different. And so, yeah, 2 to 3 years kind of fits that bill. All right, back to the Pixel 5. So, it gets 2 to 3 years of software support. It did not go with the glass trend. A lot of flagship devices that came out last year, the year before, have all gone glass. Heck, the Pixel 4 is glass. And and this is just a preference thing, okay? So this is not even something that like like people have to think is a positive or a negative. To me, this is a positive that they went with an aluminum body with a coating painted over it. And I think someone did report that there is kind of a gap in the body right here in the middle, and that allows for the reverse charging. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I think it was a very good idea that they went aluminum body and got away from glass. One of the problems that I had was that I always had fear I was going to break my Pixel 4. Always had the fear of doing it because of the back is glass. And then you put a case on it. But sometimes I want to rock the phone butt naked. I mean, I'm not wrong for that. Some people would be like, no, you should always put a case on your phone. Wrap your phone up. Protect your phone. But sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes the phone just wants to be butt naked like it's at Hanama Bay. Okay, if you don't know what Hanama Bay is, Google it. But it's like a nude beach. But my phone just wants to be butt naked. Sometimes it just wants to feel liberated. Like if you strip down butt naked and lean into the wind, it wants to be liberated. And I don't want to wrap it in a case. But any phone that has glass for a back and front and you don't put a case on it, you're just asking for trouble rocking it completely nude. So for like my Pixel 4, there's a case on it when I go places. At home, I don't really worry too much about it. At home, when I'm on the couch or I'm sitting on the bed, I have the phone without a case. If I drop it, it drops on the mattress or it drops on the cushion of the couch. No big deal. No biggie. But going places, going hiking, doing things that, you got to put a case on it. The Pixel 5, I can rock it without a case no matter what. If I go hiking, I can rock it without a case. Of course, you have to worry about scratching the paint on it. If you want everything to look like cosmetic, like no imperfections at all whatsoever, like just good, you know what I mean? Then by all means, put a case on it. I think the only time I put a case on my Pixel 5 really warrants it is when I'm playing Pokemon Go, because walking around the park, for a couple of hours and then trying to catch Pokemon, on my case, I have pop sockets on them, so I have like a better grip, and it also alleviates the tension on my pinky that most people today suffer. And if you ever wondered why you had pain in your pinky finger right here, it's because of smartphones. That's why. Because if you didn't notice, when you're holding your smartphone, you're using your pinky to brace the bottom to alleviate majority of the weight, so that way you have a slight grip on the phone to do one-handed text and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, that's where it comes from. Copy says the all metal I had was my J5 2016 frame. Nice. PA Tech is up in here. Same with the S21. Mine has a plastic back. It's hard though. Yeah. Coffee says I use a case on my Samsung A40 just because it's slippery. Yeah. I mean, and that's something that you just gotta think about. But like, yeah, me personally, I don't mind rocking my phone butt naked. And the Pixel 5 allows me to do that. I mean, sure, there are some things that the Pixel 5 will be frowned upon. Okay. Good buddy Carlos always pointed it out. And but Carlos is a network spec nerd. That's how I would classify Carlos. He's a network spec nerd. The guy has a great deal of amount of info when it comes to networks. Basically discussing Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and one of the biggest things that Carlos did not like, two of the biggest things I'll go on it that Carlos did not like about the Pixel 5, and he uses it. Okay, so if anyone's like, well, Carlos is a iPhone fanboy or whatnot. I mean, let me tell you guys. Besides, the Galaxy S series devices that he uses for his speed testing and stuff like that, he uses the Pixel 5. He actually does use it. But one of his main concerns about it was, of course, the fact that it had the Snapdragon X52 modem instead of an X55. Of course, it wasn't going to get the X60 because the X60 wasn't out then. So the way that the Pixel 5 is going to connect to 5G networks is, the speeds it's going to get is not going to be the same. Like if you got like an iPhone 12, I believe he said the iPhone 12 had the X55 modem. Correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously the way that it's going to connect to the network and the speeds is going to differ, with the X52 modem and what it's able to support. That's going to make a major break for the Pixel 5, since one of the biggest things of the Pixel 5 was that it was pushing the narrative of 5G, right? The Pixel 5 was 5G, and the Pixel 4a 5G came out not long after the Pixel 5. So that's going to be one of the problems. Also, and I will validate Carlos's claim on this, but the camera needs to be recalibrated when you're trying to line your shot up and get it even. You know what I mean? You get that little meter that kind of tells you if you're like 1 degree tilted to the left, 1 degree tilted to the right, or if you went 4 degrees tilted to the right. So if you wanted to balance the shot and get it perfectly aligned, the cameras need to be recalibrated because it is off. It is off by a whole degree. I was right. It is the X55 and the iPhone 12. All right, gotcha. So those are the main things that people will notice with the Pixel 5. If you're looking for some things to kind of gripe about, obviously it's going to be how the camera is basically set up, that it needs to be recalibrated. And then, of course, the type of modem that it's running inside of it with the Snapdragon 765G. The 765G processing chip is not bad. It's not bad. Trust me, it's not bad. I mean, people are like, it's not an 800 series chip. I get it. It's not an 800 series chip. You know what? But what if I was to go and etch, SD 865 on it instead of it saying 765 on it, and then gave it to you without you even knowing? You wouldn't even know it was a 700 series chip. That's how good the phone is optimized. And see, that's the key. Anyone can put a freaking 800 series chip into a smartphone, but it doesn't mean squat if it's not optimized. If the OS is not optimized then enough, it's not going to be smooth. And so the Pixel 5, the reason why it's smooth is because Android is optimized well on the Pixel 5. That a Snapdragon 765G seems to act like it can handle and run against the 800 series chips, when we all know that's not really the case. Let's see. It's not as good as Pixel Launcher. Hold on. Go back here real quick. I look at the S21 just for speed testing, and it was free from AT&T. Also, I sell map. Nice. Yeah, but my dog was barking. Oh man. But anyways, those are some of the things. Audio is going to be an issue with people. I'll tell you that right now. The under display top speaker was a bad idea, and I will still stand by what I said in my review videos a couple of months ago on the Pixel 5. Google should have just done the same thing they did with the Pixel 4a and had that very skinny speaker slash earpiece on the very top, right in the bezel itself, the little tiny bezel. I know that manufacturers are trying to reach this idea of we're gonna have bezel-less displays, and which is the reason why they had the notch. The notch on phones became a thing, and then after that, then the punch hole selfie cam display, to now they're trying to put it to where the camera is under the display, and they're trying to make it to where it's hidden, and when you're gonna take a selfie, the display alleviates enough to allow lighting to come through to snap a selfie. Like all these things, they're really trying to make it a bezel-less display phone, and Google tried to with the Pixel 5. Problem with that is by putting the speaker underneath the display really makes it muffled. Yeah, it's just one of the craziest things. When you have a bottom firing speaker, so don't get me wrong, it's not like it's going to be like someone took a thick pillow and covered the phone with it and you're trying to listen to videos that way or music that way through it. Like, no. But you can really tell. Like, if I was to put my Pixel 5 up against my Pixel 4 and played a song, then you would really hear the difference. You have to be here in person, but you would really hear the difference in just how loud the decibel readings is from the speakers itself, from the audio from the phones, and then also the punchiness of the bass and clarity. Makes a huge difference there. So nice nature sounds there. Oh yeah, because I'm outside in the backyard, so you can hear like the wind, you hear the birds and all that stuff. Yeah, sometimes today's a good day to do it. See, days like this, it's fine. But of course, today, like right now, it's a bit colder than what it was the last couple of days. Just right now, it's 10:48 a.m. and we just reached 59 degrees. The other day, when I was live streaming outside around this time, it was already at like 68 or almost 70 degrees. So there was bugs and they were bothering the hell out of me. Speaking of one, speak of the devil and it will appear, because there's one right over there. Leave me alone. So I don't want to be looking like an idiot waving my hands all over a live stream, all right? Just back off. But yeah. So, in general with the Pixel 5, I mean, other than the fact that it has stock Android and it's going to get 3 years of support, the cameras, while they do have that little finicky problem of it not having a balanced shot, which means that if you already know how uncalibrated the camera is, you can always, while they should have had it calibrated correctly, you can always recorrect that yourself just by if you know that even though keeping it leveled says that it's a 1 degree tilt to the right, you know what I mean? Then tilt it 1 degree to the left, and then that would balance out the shot. I've tried it. I took a picture. I posted it to Instagram, and no one could tell. So, I mean, yes, you shouldn't have to do that, but you know what? It is what it is. Life is life, and just correct it yourself. Audio, I pair it with different wireless earbuds that I have. The JVC gummies that I have, the Skull Candy Indie Evos. I love using those. Those are really good. But I pair it with those, and I listen to music like that. So it is what it is. But when I'm at home, I'm on my Pixel Book, and so and the audio on the Pixel Book is just phenomenal. So I listen to music on that. And the way it goes. The final thing I'll tell you guys about with the Pixel 5 is the battery life, and the battery life is amazing on this thing. It really is. There was only one time ever since holding this phone for like over 4 months, one time in the entire time I was able to kill the battery in 1 day. And that was just recently when I live streamed playing the Kanto event going on in the game Pokemon Go. I started playing, so I took it off the charger in the morning at 7:58. About 8 o'clock, I was freeing up storage in my phone so I can catch a new Pokemon and whatnot and get new items and stuff like that. By 9 o'clock, the actual event started. I bought my ticket to it. So I started playing. Different types of Pokemon were spawning. I was catching them left and right to build up candy so I can evolve them. Some of the research tasks required you to do raids. So I had remote raid passes. So nearby raids that was going on near where I live, I was able to remote in and battle. And I did a lot of raids. I went to a park, walked around, played for hours, kept playing and playing and playing. It was a 12-hour event. Started at 9 a.m., ended at 9 p.m. By the time I got home to do a part 2 live stream of the Kanto event, where I just basically talk about my experience of playing the Kanto event, um, I was down to 25%. And I played for another hour. By the time that I was done playing the event, I ended it at 21%. And so yeah, taking it off the charger at 7:58 a.m. and going all the way till about 9:15 p.m. and I brought it down to 21%. And that was from like just gaming and gaming and gaming. And obviously you gotta know Pokemon Go relies on several things, right? So it relies, obviously on the GPU, on the processor. It also relies on GPS and an internet connection. So those were the things that sapped the battery. And this is a long, continuous gameplay. This is not, I played it and then I had to do something, so I exited out of the app. Like I have 3 phones on me. So if I need to do anything on the browser, if I need to make a phone call or send a text message, I got other phones to do that. So the Pixel 5 was straight on Pokemon Go for, 13 hours. And that sapped the battery from 100% down to 21%. On any given day, any real given day of usage, and I'm talking about Facebooking, I'm talking about going on Instagram, going on Twitter, posting and things like that, I usually end the day. So that's taking my phone off the charger at 7:20 a.m. when I wake up my daughters for school and get them set up for online class. And then I'm on my phone, just kind of checking emails and things like that. So from 7:20 a.m. till about 10:30 p.m., I end the day at 35% battery. That's my battery stats. And that's doing social media. Do I game on my phone? Every now and then I will play a game on Stadia. Like if I'm playing something really good on my Pixelbook, if I'm on Stadia and I'm playing, let's say like I'm in a good battle on Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and I got to go somewhere with my lady, but I want to finish the game that I'm currently in. The beauty of Google Stadia is being advertised now. Instantly pause game on my Pixelbook, close my Pixelbook, pick up my Pixel 5, get into Stadia, hit continue, and I start where exactly I left off. No boot time, no load time, none of that stuff. It just starts going. I start gaming on it. And that happens very, very rarely. That happens, but every now and then I do that. But that's about as much gaming as I do on it. Do I play Fortnite? No. Do I play PUBG? Yes, I'm trying, and I freaking suck at it. So, but yeah, I'm trying. No, I play PUBG. Yeah, I play Dead by Daylight. I play a lot of those games that's on Stadia. I'm gonna install the Android Steam app, so that way when I play Streets of Rage 4 on my Pixelbook on Steam, if I pick up and go, I can access it through my phone and continue playing on there. But yeah, but I'm not a heavy gamer. Like I'm not gaming on my phone 2-3 hours at a time. You know what I mean? It's very every now and then I'll play it. Pokemon Go I play quite often, obviously, but that's a little bit different. And Pokemon Go is not very intensive on the resources used off the phone. So, but yeah, gaming is good on it. To be honest, I'm being modest now. It's actually pretty great on it. For what it is, a 765G processing chip. Was it 6 gigabytes of RAM or 8? I think it's 8 on this one, and then 6 on the 4A5G. Either way, the way that it's optimized, the way that it's handling, great. Have I ran Android 12 developer previews on it? No, I don't intend to do that yet. And I probably won't throw it on Android 12 beta until beta 4 comes out, when more stability is on Android 12. Then I'll run beta on it and try it out. I do intend to install not developer preview, but Android beta 1. Initially, that's why I got, I was going to get a Pixel 3a, was not only to do like a throwback video to the Pixel 3a, but also to run beta on it. That way, my main daily driver is not affected by beta. So that was the plan. But in all, the Google Pixel 5 is a great option. Really, it is. If you wanted to try something new, if you've been using Samsung devices for a long time, or LG devices, or an iPhone, and you want to try something different, the Pixel 5 is really where to go. Now, if you're like the Pixel 5 is too small, that's why there's a Pixel 4a 5G. Go with that because it's pretty much the same specifications to a degree. Some slight changes. It's like it's a hybrid of the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5. It's got the Pixel 5 cameras. It's got the Pixel 5's processing chip. It's got, I think, 2 gigs less RAM than the Pixel 5. So I'm assuming the Pixel 5 is 8 gigs and then the 4a 5G is 6 gigabytes of RAM. But yeah, it pretty much mirror images the Pixel 5 to a degree. I mean, yeah, it's polycarbonate body, but that shouldn't be a deal breaker. And it doesn't have the reverse wireless charging like the Pixel 5 does. And yes, I've tried it. It's pretty damn cool. But that's all it really is just wireless charging. Just think of it like having a wireless Qi charger. That's all it is. So it's not something that you should be doing backflips and throwing cheerleading pom-poms in the air. Oh my gosh, the Pixel 5 can reverse charge. Like reverse wireless charge. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have that feature. And I think it was cool for them to put that in there. And I know they put that in there because of the Pixel Buds, which is why a lot of guys and gals that was part of Team Pixel last year, when they got their Google Pixel 5 in the box, came with a set of Pixel Buds. Obviously, one of the things that Google wanted to point out was that it had reverse wireless charging. And what better way would you test it than using Pixel Buds? But even then, what better way to market the Pixel Buds since it had so many dang issues when it was released to get more people to buy Pixel Buds after seeing a lot of reviewers, even myself, review the Pixel Buds and say that there were some issues with it. How do you get it out there? Well, you give it with Team Pixel members, so they talk about it when they unbox the Pixel 5. They're going to unbox the Pixel Buds, and maybe somebody else who never knew about it will know about it and then go buy themselves a pair for like $180. So I mean that's what it was, and that's what it was for. It was for the Pixel Buds because you can wireless charge Pixel Buds. So put in the case on the back of the phone, charges up those buds. But yeah, I mean, in all. Geez, I didn't even eat my poke. Like I told everyone, like I had ahi tuna poke like right here. I was gonna eat for breakfast, and I didn't even touch it yet. But it's looking pretty good, so I'm about to get to it. Anyways, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. If it's something new, something different, give it a shot, give it a try. And if you can find it, you don't have to buy it brand new. There's a lot of people who go and buy like Google Pixels thinking that they're gonna be exactly like an iPhone, and then they get like all butt hurt that it's not, and then they go and offer up and sell it. So that's where you come in. If you want to get a Pixel 5, but you don't want to spend like full pricing on it, I'm sure someone's gonna have one and they're gonna sell it at a decent price, maybe like $500, maybe $550. You just gotta look around and you'll find it. But yeah, if you can score it at that price, that's going to be definitely good. Yes, I will go on record and say that the Google Pixel 5 should have been $649.99 or $599. I don't really seeing it being $699 as to just being $100 less than what this cost when it launched last year. Not last year, but the year before. But that's just me. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on the Google Pixel 5. Hopefully, it shed a little bit more info on it. I mean, it's still holding up well. I have not experienced any slowdowns. I have not experienced any signs of aging, even though it's only 4 months old. We'll really kind of see how that goes later on this year. So about late October, early November would actually be around the 1 year mark, and then we'll see how it's doing then. By then, it'll be on Android 12, and by then, who knows? I mean, the Pixel 6 will be out, so a lot of people will be talking about it. So doing a throwback to the Pixel 5 is going to be a great time to do that. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the live stream. I do want to thank everybody that came in and hung out with me. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Also, stay tuned for this Sunday. We're going to be talking Jeepers Creepers. I'm going to try to get Technoid on here so we can, have a dynamic conversation about the Jeepers Creepers franchise, Victor Salva, and how why people should give Jeepers Creepers a chance now that Victor Salva is not a part of it at all. He no longer owns it. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Mortal Kombat as well. See if he wants to talk about that too as well. I'm gonna reach out to him later on this week on Twitter, see what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, and if he's free, because he's in the East Coast and I'm close to the West Coast, so time difference is a major gap between he and I. So we got to do this right to where it's a good fit time for him and it's a good fit time for me. So be on the lookout for that. But if you want to know Technoid's thoughts on Jeepers Creepers Reborn, definitely follow him on Twitter. I think it's at Technoid12 is his handle. Follow him on Twitter. He did a live stream last night on Twitter, kind of giving his thoughts on Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Let's see. I'm gonna check out the Jeepers Creepers. Love that movie. Yeah. Yeah, I did a live stream too, and I was surprised. It got over 300 views. I mean, lately I've only been getting like very small views, like 50 views, 60 views, 40 views. You know, like my stuff hasn't been over in the hundreds in like, you know, over 2 weeks. And then I did a live stream talking about Jeepers Creepers Reborn last night, and now it's at 300 views. So thank you to everyone who checked out that live stream and what I had to say about Jeepers Creepers Reborn. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out after this live stream ends, and you guys can see what was up with that. Really appreciate it. Smash the like button because that really does help me out extensively. Again, I gotta say shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for being a part, you know, a member of the channel. And again, I will remind you to check your tier level to see what perks you get for being a member. Also, if you guys do want to help with a one-time monetary donation to the channel to help it out, you know, since most of the stuff that I'm going to be doing is no longer advertiser friendly. So there you have it. There's my PayPal link right there. If you guys do, any donation is much appreciated. And yeah, again, like I said, check out last night's live stream, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I had some things to say about it. I'm going to talk more about it this Sunday. But yeah, that's pretty much it for right now, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah. Peace.